10 races coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday afternoon. We're looking at the first, and this first race is on the all-weather, so the first all-weather race for the season. It's Class 3 over 1,200 metres. Just a small field of 6. Fiery Diamond lining up. He's first up for 130 days. California Sybil, O-liner, comes to the surface for the first time for Jerry Chow. Self-Improvement look good in recent trials. Euro Rocks and also Imperial McGee, who's won course and distance in the past. Pace here, Paul. O-liner showed a bit in one of his trials at least.
Yeah, he did. Look, Self-Improvement led in his recent trial, so he might go on with it if he wants to Self-Improvement. There's that option for him. Fiery Diamond sometimes doesn't jump that well, so there's a query over him. California Sybil doesn't like to lead, and Euro Rocks, another one who's gone forward in his trials, but Imperial McGee definitely gets back.
That is the speed map for race number 1. We can hear from Harry Bentley, who's riding Imperial McGee. Nick Child spoke to him on Friday morning down at the track.
Harry, Imperial McGee is your ride in the first on Sunday. A horse you've got to know quite well, and back on the all-weather, which should suit.
Yeah, we know he likes this surface, so that's definitely a tick in the box. He came off some good performances at the end of last season, so hopeful of a good run.
Recent trial looked good.
Yeah, he went great. You know, he loves this all-weather track. He seems to move really well on it, and I was very pleased with how he feels at the moment.
Talking of moving well on the surface, I mean, gone back and had a look at that win a few starts ago. I mean, he moved extremely well. He was last to first, but showed a great turn of foot.
He did. They went very fast that day and really came back to him. I mean, he's a horse that does have a bit of stamina. He obviously stays further than this 1,200, and this would be his absolute minimum. So, yeah, he sees the trip out very well, and I'd be expecting him to do the same thing.
I know it's a small field, just a half dozen of them, but there does look to be a decent bit of pace on as well, so it might just play into your hands.
Yeah, definitely. Looks a good gallop on, and that'll definitely suit me. I'm sure I won't be fast enough to be any more prominent than a back marker, but with only 6 runners, you're never going to be too far off the pace.
Would another positive be that half the field have actually not run on the surface? So I guess, at least with your horse, he is assured on the dirt.
Yeah, I think when you're taking on the all-weather, the specialists on that surface definitely have that little bit of advantage, and we know that this is a very favourable surface for him.
The sort of the big negative, I suppose, if there is one, is that he's 0 from 5 in the grade, but he probably doesn't find himself in the strongest Class 3 as well.
No, he doesn't, and you know, he's only carrying 120, and he's a big horse. So, yeah, the up and grade is something to contend with. But I think with the quality of horse in this race, I think he's well matched.
So far this season, Harry, you're on the score sheet. I want to ask you about your winner, Blue Molly. Is he a horse you've got a bit of a soft spot for? I know he's not been the easiest to deal with, but you and him seem to gel quite well. Yeah,
we do. I mean, he's got his nuances. Definitely at the stalls, he can play up a little bit, and he's just taken a bit of time to really mentally mature. But he's got a big engine, and we've had some terrible draws. So finally, we drew a nice barrier, and we knew that we'd be able to get into a good position and without having to use him too much. At the end of last season, we got a bad stall and had to go forward, and it just didn't suit him. So with you know, all those things falling into place, it really helped him, and he showed what he could do.
So Harry Bentley off the mark early in the season. We can have a look at a few other of the main replays here for this first race at Sha Tin. Fiery Diamond is one of those, Paul, who is a 3-time winner course and distance. Hasn't won for a wee while. He's had a lame left hind issue. He's also had a left hind fetlock bone injury. Yeah,
his last one was off 63. Now, he's gone up in the ratings. He's at this rating as 74. Look, he has run second off 73. The positive's the claim, so will take some weight off his back. But he's not the easiest horse to ride. He can miss the start at times. So that was my little worry with Fiery Diamond. He can be a little bit hit or miss.
OK, you think he may not be an apprentice's horse then?
Yeah, could. Yeah, we'll find out on Sunday, but I've got that feeling.
Self-Improvement to the next horse we have a look at. Now, this horse has trialled well here at Sha Tin on the all-weather. Zach Purton on board in this most recent trial. Is he the one to beat, do you think?
I think he is. Blinkers on the first time. Look, they really worked for this horse. He's had one start on the all-weather, and he ran second to Gummy Gummy in a very strong race. This trial was very good, I thought, so I think he's the one to beat, and he really stretched out, and he didn't look like stopping in this particular trial, and Majestic Knight that runs second is no slug.
No, he's certainly not. He won that trial by just over 5 lengths, did self-improvement. One more to have a look at for this race, and this is Euro Rocks. Now, he was caught wide midfield. I thought he moved quite well in this recent barrier trial, and he's onto the surface for the first time.
He's by Swiss Ace, and a lot of that progeny have gone well on this all-weather surface as well. So, look, he's an interesting runner coming into it. He's run second off a 65 rating since he's been here. He's at this rating of 62, so I think he's a good chance in the race as well. He's not out of it.
No, he's certainly not. Francis Lloyd kicked a few goals on Wednesday night at Happy Valley. He's the trainer, and Lyle Hewitson is the rider. Tips for race 1, Paul?
Going to go with self-improvement. I think self-improvement can win this race. Imperial McGee, the South American horses, really thrive on the all-weather. Euro Rocks, and I'm going to put California Sybil in. He's horse coming to the surface for the first time, but 4-6-5-2.
And race number 1 to open the Sunday card at Sha Tin, and the first leg of the first double trio jumps at 1 p.m. Class 5 gallopers in action here for the second of the day at Sha Tin. It's over 1,400 metres. Let's have a look at the lineup of who we've got going around in this race. And at the top of the book, we've got Brother Pearl, who is dropping in grade here. A recent trial winner from Barrier 1. Noble Steed, he's well rated for this assignment. Co-partner Pudong into Class 5 for the first time. So too Kairos Unicorn. Sure Joyful's had plenty of chances. The Pacifiers with the Cows Off Miracles, another one that's had a few chances. Turtle Again's not done a great deal. Nebula now with Pierre Ung, and he has won a recent barrier trial Eagle Run. Shenzo 12, Peak to Peak now with David Hayes. All is ready in the stable of Mark Newnham. He has trialled nicely Happy Matador and Hunky Dory on the backup from Wednesday night. Miracles always goes forward to Paul, but whether he's got the stamina at the end to see it out.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. He always wins trials, this horse, but he hasn't managed to win on race day. Peak to Peak with the new stable can go forward. I thought co-partner Pudong, who's led in the past, he won't be too far away. Nebula is another one that's led in the past. Brother Pearl, the downgraded horse. Hunky Dory's already had a run this season. He just might be caught a little bit wide. All is ready. And Noble Steed, the old boy, I think will have to go back.
Well, Dennis Ship had a winner on the first meeting at Sha Tin. He's lining up at Brother Pearl in Class 5 for the first time. Paul, a trial winner up at Chung Fa, I thought looked pretty good, and he's got form behind speed. Fei, Storm Legend, Go 16. Some of those runs were okay.
They were, and that was in Class 4, as he said. He's now into Class 5. Has to carry the weight, but he's drawn ideally in barrier number 1, and the trial was pretty good. So it looks like he's made improvement in the off-season. So coming down into this grade, you've always got to have a look at Dennis Ship's Class 5 runners. So, look, I'm going to include him, keep him safe.
Yep, seemed to tick along quite nicely down the back straight there at Chung Fa. You can see a few others behind him being pushed out, but he was getting to the line solidly over the final stages. Brother Pearl, a 4-year-old New Zealand bred gelding out of a Thorn Park mare, and he's actually getting away on the rest of the field there over the final stages was Brother Pearl. Next replay is All Is Ready. Now, he is a recent trial winner, Paul, now in the stable of Mark Newnham, was with Ricky U. Blinkers being reapplied, visor off. His win came off 37 about this time last season, albeit at Happy Valley. Yeah,
so he's the one-hit wonder at this stage. All Is Ready, but he's down to this rating of 25 now. He was pushed out in this trial when he just really stretched out well. So, look, he seems to have been going well for the new stable. Luke Ferraris is pretty good on these horses as well. So, with the visor off, the blinkers back on, I think he's a chance.
A couple that have run well out of that trial, Durham Star, of course, and also Shinkansen. One more to have a look at for the second race. Noble Steed, we know he's well rated. Last win, Paul, off 42. This is his most recent run, and he loomed up, but was beaten by the horse in the red, white and blue down the outside, win 33.
Yeah, this is a swan song season, isn't it, for Noble Steed. He's a 10-year-old now. You can see him, he's still going pretty well. He's in the right grade, Class 5. He got right up in the ratings, this horse. As you mentioned, the last win of 42, he's down to a rating of 40, so he's definitely got his claims.
Yep, he might be 10, but I think he's definitely got another win in him, has Noble Steed. Tips, Paul, for race 2?
Well, I think All Is Ready looked quite good for the new stable, Mark Newnham's stable. With the blinkers back on, happy to go with him. Kairos Unicorn's another really well-rated horse. He's won over 1650 and off a rating of 54. He's down to this rating of 39 at the moment. Brother Pearl, the downgrader, and Noble Steed, the old boy, 12, 4, 1 and 2.
Certainly a few interesting class droppers lining up in race 2, the Class 5 over the 1,400 metres. The main event class-wise comes up nice and early at Sha Tin on Sunday. It's race number 3 down the straight, 1,000 metres class 2. And we've got a small field lining up in this with Kerpenny with a £10 claim courtesy of Alice Wong. Pinghai Galaxy in the lineup for Karis Teat and John Size. We Are Hero had a terrific season last season down the straight. WizKid has trialled only moderately up at Chung Fa Carroll Street, who goes well first up, and Dream Winner, who is 3 from 3. He lines up with 5 other rivals here, Paul, and well, WizKid, he'll speed forward, no doubt.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest horses out of the barriers. Kerpenny can be quick though as well. Has got the apprentice claim. The favourite, or one not the favourite, but probably the likely favourite, Dream Winner, should get a nice enough run. Pinghai Galaxy, then Carroll Street and We Are Hero. They generally get back.
And let's hear from Vincent Ho. He is riding Dream Winner for trainer Frankie Laurie, 3 from 3 so far in his career.
Yeah, definitely. Nice potential, big baby. Still plenty to learn, but definitely got potential. Galloped him yesterday. Felt nice. Let's see how it goes on Sunday. First race of the season. Have a bit of a break. Still feel mentally a bit immature, but I think he's fine.
Vincent, naturally, you've got some very nice horses to look forward to. Obviously, always one goes without saying. But how much have you been looking forward to this fellow and what he did last season?
Yeah, of course. From the time he showed us, it's a good potential horse. So. So we'll see how much he improved this season as well. As I said, he's still a baby, so got a lot to learn, and in time he will do so. So let's see how quickly and how much he will improve.
Dream Winner stepping up into Class 2 for the first time. But what of his main rivals in this event, Kerpenny and WizKid? Here's the trial up at Chung Fa. Paul, Kerpenny seemed to go strongly enough, but probably more looking for the all-weather and also Happy Valley. And WizKid wasn't overly enthused on his trial.
No, he was pushed out a little bit in this trial, wasn't he? Look, his biggest win's off 87. He's up to a 94 rating at the moment. Is WizKid has been placed in the 90s though. But look, Kerpenny, look, he's one off 102, so he's well rated. He gets the claim. But his best runs have been at on the all-weather or Happy Valley, so I'm not sure about the straight 1,000. That's just a little query I had with Kerpenny. Yeah,
they've got to take the opportunities when they can, when the race arrives with the Kerpenny. Is this the horse that, though, Paul, that can stick it to the favourite here, Carroll Street on the far side of the track? We know his first-up record and his ability down the straight.
That's the key, isn't it? We know he loves it down. This is his race. It's 1,000 metres down the straight. Look, his biggest win was off 85, his last win, so he's up to an 89 rating. So he's an all-time high. But in saying that, he has been placed, again, off a rating of 90. So, look, he is capable as well. Look, we looked at the time. You look at the times of these horses, he can run a quick 1,000, we know that.
Yep, he certainly can. The false rail will be out on Sunday as well. Carroll Street or Dream Winner? Going
with Dream Winner, actually. Look, he's run a really quick time before, so I think he's up to this grade, and the other horses have to give him weight. So he's carrying 120, Carroll Street 124. So there's the Quinella, 6 to beat 5. We Are Hero, we know he's a whiz down the straight as well. He can run really good races down there. Did win them in a row last season. And WizKid, I'm going to put him in on a minor line, but I was a little bit concerned about that trial. 6-5-3-4.
Can't wait for race number 3 down the straight, 1,000 metres. Dream Winner looking to make it 4 from 4. He lines up against a few of the big boys here in Class 2. Back to Class 5 we go for the 4th of the day at Sha Tin, and here's the lineup for the 1,400 metre contest. Diamond Winner at the top. Blinkers are off. The pacifiers go on. Smart Leader on the backup. Ran a solid race last week for second. Sunny Baby has got blinkers being reapplied. Millennium Falcon into the grade for the first time. Choo Chow Brother now with Manfred Mann. Yichong Warrior first up for 186 days. Fireball for dinner ship from barrier number 12. Further down to Singapore Spirit. Also in the lineup is Turbo Power on the backup. Had a tough run last week. Fortune Master from barrier 14. Double Show. Joyful Champions pretty much done zilch in its recent runs. You got Beauty Nova for Cody Moe and Derek Long, and Medic Elite. He lined up 20 times last season. Here he is for his first run of the campaign. Pace in this one, Paul?
Yeah, look, Chuchao Brother and Fireball are both drawn wide. I think they'll come across together. Beauty Nova will probably come across with them. He's another one drawn wide, but he might be able to get a nice enough run just in behind. Fortune Master will need some luck from his wide draw. Joyful Champion try and slot in behind him, I think, as well. And Yi Chong Warrior towards the back.
Well, speaking of Beauty Nova, we welcome to the training ranks here in Hong Kong Cody Mo, and he spoke to Nick down at the track on Friday morning.
Cody Mo, great to see you with your first runner coming up this Sunday. It must be a very exciting time for you and the stable.
For me, it's okay. Not so exciting, yeah, but have some luck maybe, yeah.
I get it's a low-key start, obviously in a Class 5, but Beauty Nova is your runner. Talk to us about the horse himself. You've inherited him from John Size. What have you made of this horse so far?
When this horse came to my stable, he last 2 times have a bleed after race, but after a change for me, and I scoped him for a couple times. It was clean. So in the track work, his condition give me feeling is feel good.
Cody, you're riding track work as well. Have you ridden this horse in his track work?
Yeah, sure. Before the owner tell me that horse have a one manner is in the home straight. He changed a couple times of leg, but he changed for me and I rode on him. He just maybe changed the problem is better. Just change it one time. Yeah.
He's had a trial, Cody, as well. Was down the field in the trial, but were you happy enough with the trial?
Can get him better, but that tries to help to the horse to pick up the form. I think he's good enough for race in Class 5.
Cody, he's a horse that actually hasn't won a race in 28, so obviously it would be a real achievement if you could get him to win. But having had a look at his form, I mean, he has got bits and pieces of form that could give him a bit of a chance here.
I hope so. Just depends, you know, the races, the pacing, everything, because at these times, a bit unlucky. We got the barrier 13, so everything needs some luck.
Certainly do. Talking of luck, obviously you're lucky enough to train for the Kwok family. That must be a real honour to train horses for them as well.
Yeah, I know Kwok's family for a long time. So, and also in my ex-boxer, Mr. Cruz stable, so many times I just take over his horse. So I hope this horse can bring me some luck.
And just finally, Cody, as a team, obviously, I think last count, 38 horses in training. Are you happy with the whole team at this stage going forward? To all the horses in the stable, are they all doing good things so far?
Yeah, my team is doing well. Everything is going very consistent. Yeah.
Well, Cody, listen, it's great to see you have this first run. We wish you very well. Thanks for chatting to us, and best of luck on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Yes, best of luck to Cody Mo with his career here in Hong Kong now as a fully fledged trainer, a long-time assistant trainer, of course, to Tony Cruz. Let's have a look at a few of the other reminders we need to have for this race, Paul. Turbo Power Smart Leader, big run here from Smart Leader from back in the field. And look, Turbo Power wasn't bad considering he was basically 3 wide, no cover.
That's true. He did stay on nicely, but I did like the run of Smart Leader. Coming up to 1,400 metres, second up. Now, his last win was off 39, but we know over the years he's won a lot higher ratings before. Smart Leader, 3-time winner, and he's been placed 12 times. He's on this rating of 40 here, so he's in the right grade as a 9-year-old. And look, he finished off strongly, didn't he?
He did, and I think he actually trialled pretty well leading into his first run last Sunday at Sha Tin. We can move on and have a look here at Sunny Baby. Sunny Baby is a 2-time winner, Paul, and he's back in the field. He's not really put under too much pressure in a rainy, wet morning at Sha Tin.
Yeah, look, he's just a 2-time winner from his 28 starts. He's got Zach Purton aboard, teaming up with David Hayes. Look, he's hard to catch, Sunny Baby. The trial was he did what he had to do. Came through the middle and finished off nicely enough. Has been placed 7 times. He's by Efrad, so he wouldn't have minded these conditions here this morning, but look, I didn't quite get him in.
Yeah, it can be a little bit hard to catch on his occasion, Sunny Baby, as we see him do his work there. Down the straight, Yi Chong Warrior, 186 days away from the racetrack, but look, he's one of 43 and 45, Paul, now a 7-year-old, and the trial with Luke Ferraris looked okay. Yeah, look, he hasn't raced for a long time, so this trial would have blown the cobwebs out. He's had a 2-time winner here in Hong Kong.
He's drawn nicely in barrier 5, so he should get a nice enough run into the race.
Indeed. So we finished a close-up placing there. Did that particular runner, Yichong Warrior for David Hall, and Millennium Falcon. One you like here, Paul. Now he has one off a rating a lot higher than what he's rated, 39, but it was 574 days ago.
Yeah, it was 54 though, and he's really gone down the ratings. This was the back end of last season, and from barrier number 1, he comes into class 5 for the first time. He can be a bit of a monkey in the mornings, but look, I really like the way he stretched out here over 1,000. 1,400 metres is an ideal trip for him, so I don't think it's an overly strong race.
We didn't show his trial, but it looked a bit basic, I thought.
Yeah, the trial was basic, but I think he was just more of a fitness thing for him.
You happy to side with him?
Yeah, I am actually, because I think it's a wide open race, this, and he's a well-rated horse coming into the grade for the first time, so he's on top. Smart leader, the old boy there for second. I think Choo Chow Brother can get across and lead. He's won off this rating before as well. He's got Hugh Bowman aboard, and Fortune Master, another one who's just need a bit of luck from his draw. But open race here, 4-2-5-10.
Yes, it is open, and, well, you wouldn't believe it. It is the first leg of Sunday's Triple Trio, the Class 5 1,400 metres. The Tungwa Group of Hospitals Challenge Cup is race 5 at Sha Tin, and here's the lineup for it, with Manstar dropping in grade. Last win 343 days ago off a rating of 71. Flying Dragons, one of 62. He's below that at the moment. You've got Trader, who goes well first up. Multi Super comes to the all-weather for the first time. Colourful Prince has trialled nicely. We'll see that soon. More Rice comes to the surface for the first time on the backup. Cool Blue, Red Desert, such a well-rated runner. Asian 1, Killer Instinct. Hero Icon with a low draw. And Call Me Teddy with Andrea Azzini riding from barrier 11. The blinkers are off for Michael Chang. Should be plenty of pace here. Paul, Colourful Prince, Multi Super. What about Trader? Do they go forward with him?
Yeah, I think they'll try to. Call Me Teddy's another one with pace. So Trader and Call Me Teddy, I think, will be going together trying to get into that place out wide. But the problem with Trader is he's drawn barrier 10. So look, with Colourful Prince in the race, we know he's a quick horse and he's drawn inside. Multi Super likes go forward. So look, plenty of race here on the all-weather, but sometimes it's not the worst to be sitting wide out of the kickback.
Yep, we know you can sit wide and still win, as we take you to a trial up at Chung Fa. And this is Manstar. Now, the form out of this race, out of this trial, Paul, is good, because we have seen the horse that's in front, Blue Marlin, come out and win. He's a 4-time winner, all course and distance. Yeah,
look, and his last win was off 71. He's at this rating now of 60, so he's a very well-rated horse. He's been downgraded. He's got Zach Pern aboard. So a lot of positives around him. The negative is the weight. He has to carry 135. But look, he trialled nicely enough here, didn't he?
Yep, not too much pressure put on him over the final stages, and to not beaten overly fast. So Blue Marlin, of course, coming out of that and winning. So good trial form there. Multi Super, cheap pieces are on. This is a horse that has been costly, Paul. Ricky, you tried to do something different, bringing him to the all-weather, and he actually trialled up with mega bonus in this barrier trial.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? The cheek pieces will go on him for the first time. He's by Vancouver, this horse. Look, we'll just see what he does on the all-weather for the first time. He has been costly, so I've left him out. I want to see what he can do on this all-weather surface before I'll put him in.
Yeah, they took him to Happy Valley last time out. I'm not sure that overly was ideal for him, and the performance there was deemed unacceptable from Multi Super, trained by Ricky Ewan, Keegan DeMello riding. I like the trial here of Colourful Prince. He got to the line under a good hold in this, I thought.
Well, you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to go straight to the front, Colourful Prince. It's how much pressure he gets with the likes of horses like, as you mentioned, Trader. They like to go forward as well. Multi Super likes to go forward. But look, he's going to give you a bit of a sight. Call Me Teddy, the one with the light weight, which should put a bit of pressure on him. But the trial was good, as you said. He did what he had to do, didn't he?
Yep, looked good there with the shadow roll on, of course. It did Colourful Prince. Red Desert in this trial with Cool Blue. Cool Blue still yet to win, but what about Red Desert? He's been there and done that, but it was a long time ago off a much higher rating. 93,
and he's down to this rating now of 48. Hasn't won for a long time as a 7-year-old now, but there was nothing wrong with the trial. Cool Blue, I really like the way he stretched out late in this trial, and we have seen him perform well on the all-weather in the past as well.
Yep, so give him strength here at Red Desert as we have a look at one more trial, and this is Hero Icon now. Hero Icon coming into this with a record of a couple of placings from his 10 starts. He was on pace in this barrier trial.
First start on the all-weather, and he's bred for it. He's by Rip Van Winkle, so he's also sort of been waiting for to get onto this surface. Look, he did it really nicely. He really works well on it. I think he can run a bit of a race at a lightweight, and he could have easily won this trial. You can see Prosecco has really pushed out at the end to win it.
Okay, so we know that the Rip Van Winkles in the past have gone well on this surface. Paul, you sticking with them here?
I am. Look, I'm going to go with Hero Icon, drawn really nicely, and I think he can get a nice run just in behind. First time on the surface. Cool Blue, really liked him in that trial. He really stretched out nicely. More Rice will be fit. He's only had the 2 starts. He's run well in both. He's already run the season, and he's by Deep Field, and we've seen those horses go particularly well on the surface, and the well-rated Red Desert. 11, 7, 6 and 8.
So that is race 5, the second and the final event on the all-weather Sunday afternoon. It does open Sunday 6 up. We're up to race number 6. It is the Wan Chai Handicap, and this race certainly quite open by the looks of things, with the likes of at the top of the weights, Serangoon coming into Class 4 for the first time. Entrusted, Smiling Collector does have ability. The tongue tie goes on. Turquoise Alpha won 2 races towards the back end of last season. You've got Go-Go 16 further down. Over the page to Lucky Eternity, who's knocking on the door. Reach Gold probably prefers it at Happy Valley. Cyber Patch hasn't done a great deal in his 2 runs. Forever Glorious Pakistan Friend strung a couple together at the back end of last season. And President's Choice, the other one who has won and placed first up in the past. Does he get his own way here, Pakistan Friend? Is anyone going to put any pressure on?
The only one that could, I think, is Forever Glorious. But look, he led all the way in a couple of starts, didn't he, Packing Friend? Looking cool. He doesn't like to lead, but he likes to be close up. President's Choice is not a leader. Lucky Eternity is not a leader. So Forever Glorious looks the only one possible. Back to Entrusted, who's won over 2,000 metres, but has won over the 16 as well.
Well, Smiling Collector, Paul, he's always been one that you've had a bit of time for. He's done a few things wrong, but I thought there was a bit in this barrier trial from him.
Liked him. I like this trial. Look, I have a bit of time for the horse. He won on debut here in Hong Kong and has won here over this distance. By Turn Me Loose, 1,600 metres looks ideal. The tongue tie goes on for the first time. I think that's a good addition for him. He's won off 56. He's on this rating of 58, and he has won fresh in the past. So after the trial, he was in front, wasn't he?
I was going to say the best part of that trial was certainly after the line, the way he stretched out there. He did a really good job over the final stages. Pakistan Friend, we know he can get his head up, but found a bit of form at the end of the season.
He did, didn't he? He sort of put 2 together. He's likely to be the leader, I thought, in this race. He's got a horrible racing style, isn't he? He gets his head up, a bit like that Golden Link as well. But they have got ability. He's a 7-time winner, Pakistan Friend. Barrier number 9. Look, he's had roaring surgery and everything, so he's had his problems in the past.
He has, but still going okay. The other runner we want to look at is Lucky Eternity. This horse building to a win, I feel. Here he is with President's Choice, Go-Go 16, and also looking cool in this race. Hopefully he just gets enough pace to suit here. Yeah,
drawn nicely, barrier 1 with Hugh Bowman aboard. And look, it was a nice run from him. He's only had the 5 starts total here in Hong Kong, and he's been placed on 2 occasions as well. So he has been knocking on the door. Don't mind President's Choice either, because he's a horse that does go really well fresh. We've seen that in the past. So I think both these 2 are legitimate chances in this race.
Yeah, this absolutely his trip, I feel, as well. Lucky Eternity, the 1,600 metres, of course, being by Tavistock. Who's the main play here, Paul?
Going to go with the 3 on top here, which is Smiling Collector. His horse I've had a bit of time for in the past. I think he can win. Lucky Eternity and President's Choice coming out of that same race. I'm going to put Entrusted in as well. Look, he has won off 1,600. He has won as far as 2,000. The blinkers go on for the first time. The cheek pieces come off, and he's been downgraded. 3, 7, 12 and 2.
So Paul keen on number 3 in the race. That is Smiling Collector. It's Luke Ferraris and Jimmy Ting for race number 6. Well, this certainly looks to be the race on the undercard, race number 7. It's Class 3 over 1,200 metres, the Admiralty Handicap. And At the top of the lineup here, we've got Dragon's Luck, who does go well fresh, but is he becoming a little one-dimensional? Dragon's Luck, Super Fortune, Lucky Encounter, Joyful Hunter comes to Sha Tin for the first time. Let's Do It, a last winner at the back end of the season over Baby Crystal. California Veins got his own way in front and was able to win and win well. Chateau, Fun and Glory did win, albeit deadheading with Hong Kong Hall and Greenwich on a 7-day turnaround up in grade off a rating of 60. Pace here, Paul. Well, it's Dragon's Luck, Super Fortune, maybe to a lesser extent California Veins?
Yeah, well, he led last time, and does he want to take on the other two? The other horses led all the way in the past is Greenwich, so there is, but he missed the start on his seasonal debut. Lucky Encounter's going to get that perfect run behind Fun and Glory. Joyful Hunter, now he's unbeaten. He'll go back and he'll just let it all unfold in front of him, I think.
Well, we can hear from Lyle Hewitson. He is riding at the top of the weights here, Dragon's Luck, who in all 3 of his wins he has been able to lead, so we'll hear what Lyle has to say about his chances this weekend.
Lyle, Dragon's Luck, one of your rides coming up this Sunday afternoon. Pretty handy horse on his day.
Yeah, he is. Last season he put together a good string of wins, and he was consistent throughout the season, barring the one race where he, of course, had the excuses. But he came back in pretty good form, and I think that this season his trials showed that he's still in good form. He needed that, so he would have come on, and hoping that now going to races with a good draw, that he can put up a good performance and hopefully look towards getting back to winning ways.
Talking of that trial, I mean, he and the winner were nicely clear of the third, and they seem to pull comfortably clear. Were you and Douglas happy with the way he tried?
Yeah, we were. I definitely thought that, once I came back, I said to Dougie that he felt like he was still a bit heavy. And naturally that would have brought him on, and I got to sit in him since then, and I think it has. So, look, I think he'll take benefit out of the run still, but in terms of preparation, getting into first up run, happy where he is.
Let's talk about pace, Lyle. There's plenty of it in this race. Now, your horse has won from the front, but he's not necessarily a dyed-in-the-wall sort of leader. Is it essential that he leads, or not so?
I think he enjoys it out there, but it's. I think we've always believed that it's because of the tempo. He goes out at a good gallop, and then he's able to hit a good rhythm. So, if the tempo is strong enough, well, then he can take a seat in behind them and give us a good run. And I think we saw that last time. I think everyone was a bit sceptical if he could run from behind the pace, and last time was in the box seat, and he actually picked up really well and quickened into the final furlong and was run down what seemed to be quite a nice horse. So, with good enough speed in the race, I don't think we have to go helter-skelter, but we'll come out positive and set ourselves up first before making a decision whether to let one across.
And just on the form book, Lyle, he's run around some pretty handy ones of late, the likes of Golden Express, Helio Express, and Enterprise. In fact, went back through his form when he won his second race. He had a certain Victor the winner back in 7th, so his form's pretty strong. Yeah,
look, I think Victor did have excuses that day, to be fair, but no, his form is strong. He's a lovely horse, and like I said, the day he fluffed his lines, he had a genuine excuse, so we just work around that now, and you really can't fault him. He's done really well.
So Dragon's Luck first up for the season, Lyle Hewitson, touching on his chances. We move on to have a look at Joyful Hunter, who comes to Sha Tin, Paul, for his first outing on race day. But, he's been impressive in 2 runs to date at the Valley.
He has, hasn't he? And we've seen some good horses come out of the Valley. Romantic Warrior, Lucky Swayness, who sort of started their careers there, going back a few years to Mr. Stunning as well. Look, he didn't want to be on him here. He didn't look like he was going to get anywhere near Colonel, and we're winning from the front here. But look at this. He just really stretches out here over the last 50. Even here, he didn't want to be on him. But look how he stretched out at the end there, and he did win by a short head in the end, so nice win from him.
Yeah, 50 out, he was probably only going to run 4th, maybe even 5th, so it was a great performance from him. Here he is back at the barrier trials at Sha Tin. This on a slightly rain-affected track with horses like Captain Win, Solar Partner. I think Owner's Praise might even be in this trial as well, and Vincent Ho back aboard, so he looked to move fairly well, I thought.
He did, didn't he? And look, I've got no concerns coming to Sha Tin because he's a nice, big, strong horse, and I think he's going to be suited, and I think his future's going to be at Sha Tin. So I really hope for racing that he does really well, because he's an exciting galloper. He's still a 4-year-old at this stage, and he's won his 2 and he's unbeaten. Yeah,
and you'd think that the big roomy track, the vast open spaces of Sha Tin would really suit him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
On we go to Greenwich now. He lined up on the opening day of the season. Wasn't exactly the cleanest away out of the gates, and then just wanted to fight Zach Purton a bit. So what about him second up?
Well, when he won his race, he led all the way. Now, there's so much pace in this race. If he does jump well, he might just... he might over race or something if they try and restrain him. You can see him got back. Look, I'm going to include him on a minor line because he's a very good horse, and obviously it was a very good run here under the circumstances. You can see him, he sort of made that mid-race move and he came wide. There was a lot of rain around, and hopefully we don't get that sort of conditions on Sunday, but we'll see how he does go. There's ability there, but this is quite a strong race, I thought.
It's hard to know whether he would have beaten Ready to Win this day, Paul, but on reflection was 1.6, sort of with the conditions first up, just probably a bit of a silly price.
Probably was as it turned out because he got beaten, but yeah, look, everything went wrong for him, it's fair to say.
Okay, so that is Greenwich, of course, lining up for his second run of the season. Who are you keen on here, Paul? Joyful Hunter?
Yeah, look, I think he's a nice horse, Joyful Hunter, and I really hope he goes on with it this season. So I've got him on top. Dragon's Luck will be there for a long period of the race. Just how much he gets taken on. Lucky Encounter should get the nice run just in behind, and Greenwich there for fourth. But I do like the 4-1-3-9.
Let's see if he can win again. Joyful Hunter trying to make it 3 from 3 at just after 4 o'clock in race number 7. And the 8th is the Chinese Recreation Club Challenge Cup, and this race here is over 1,200 metres for Class 4 gallopers. And we can see the field here with Wide Blue Yonder. Consistent without winning. Prince certainly was better at the back end of last season, running second. Dream Pursuer ran into California Veins in a race that was dominated by on-pace runners. Podium, See You Again, got close to Magic Supreme within half a length last time out. Sunlight Power comes into this after an unacceptable performance last time out. Happy Trio, Kaying Warrior, first up for 273 days. Went off at a short enough price and never really got to go around for your money at all with Kaying Warrior last time out. Marvel Dragon, hard to catch. Perfect Peach, Go 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 for Andrea Atzini. And then you've got Diamond Forever, I Give on the back up after winning in Curling Speed. Very hard to recommend off a rating of 41. Can he lead and win again, Paul, I Give?
Well, he can lead. Whether he can put two together, he's up in class here, I Give. He hasn't yet. But it was a strong win last time. Wide Blue Yonder should get a nice run with a big weight. Prince likes to go forward. Diamond Forever likewise. Marvel Dragon will need a bit of luck to get some cover. I thought Dream Pursuer will get a really good run, as will Kaying Warrior if he jumps cleanly. Perfect Peach, Podium, back to Sunlight Power, who generally gets back.
Well, we can look at the run last Sunday of I Give. This was him winning. Had to do a little bit of work in the early stages. Paul, the rider, did lose the stick over the final stages as well. This was Jerry Chow taking only a couple of pounds off, but this time it's Angus Chung taking 7 pounds off. Yeah,
look, it was a nice win, there's no doubt, and he just always threatened to do this last season. He stepped out really nice. He's got the apprentice on, so just how he gets rated. This is a lot tougher, though, coming up into Class 4. But look, he can only win, and he stuck on, but look, it was a smart leader running him down there, the 9-year-old.
Yeah, so we'll get a line on that form a little bit earlier on in the program. A few trials to have a look at now, and this is Dream Pursuer down on the inside in this recent barrier trial, and he looked to be moving quite nicely here. I thought Paul did Dream Pursuer, yet to win, but he's raced well, and I thought it was a strong effort behind California Veins when the top 4 in that race were the first 4 home.
Yeah, look, they were, and he did finish off nicely. He's drawn well in barrier 3, so he should get a really good run. He was beaten favourite at his last start, the Source. There's been money around for him. But look, I thought that the trial was pretty good here, so I've included him.
It was 22.92 as closing 400, which was the best of that race. Kaying Warrior, what do we do with this guy? Because, look, he was deemed unacceptable. Rider had concern with his action. He's had a blood abnormality. He's been withdrawn for a race. What are we going to do?
I've included him because the trial was quite good. I haven't got him on top. Look, when on debut, he jumped slowly. Zach rode him. He's looking down. He's sticking with him, Zach. Look, he did win the trial nicely enough. There's obviously some ability there.
He's a son of Written Tycoon, now 5-year-old. The hood is coming off. One you don't mind at a price, maybe? Go, Go, Go?
I thought it was wide open. I was looking for some value in this particular race. I do like Sunlight Power, but he does a lot of things wrong. So look, Go, Go, Go. You can see him coming down the outside here. Look, it wasn't an overly strong trial, but I like the way he finished off. This will tune him up nicely for this race. And his best runs have been his last 2 runs at the back end of last season. So there's definitely some ability there. I thought it was a nice trial from him. So happy to take a chance at a big price. It should be a big price.
Yeah, what price do you consider as a big price?
I reckon he'll be 20 plus.
Okay, we'll see what happens there with the price of him. So he's on top?
Yeah, I'm going to put him on top as an each-way play here. He should play more than 20s. Sunlight Power, as I said, I think he's a really nice horse, Sunlight Power, but he does a lot of things wrong. His trial was good leading into it, so hopefully he's learnt in the off-season. Dream Pursuer and Kaying Warrior. 11, 6, 3 and 8.
Those are Paul's selections for race number 8, and he's hoping for greater than 20 to 1 about his value runner. Go, go, go. And the central handicap is race 9. It's class 4, and here's the lineup for it. Over the 1400 metres with Owner's Praise, Zach Purton and Chris So from a good draw of barrier number 1. The cheek pieces are on. Cheek pieces are off. The blinkers are being applied here on Lean Hero for David Hayes and Hugh Bowman. Chang Cheng Glory has the cheek pieces going on also. Co-partner Ambition, Super Winner, a winner 7 days ago at Sha Tin. Master Hero, Tattenham, hasn't done a great deal in his runs. You've got Proud Dragon, a recent trial winner up at Chung Fa. King of the Court, Riverviews, Champion Instinct, who's placed in one of his recent trials. Winning Data, Beauty Mission, a long-standing maiden, and Horsain Bolt, an even longer-standing maiden, off a rating of 42. Super Winner, he did it the tough way the other day, Paul, to win. Can he go on with it? Yeah, well, this is the thing. Can he go on, put 2 together on a quick backup? He has done in the past. He has managed to win 2 in a row. Co-partner Ambition, I thought, can slot in and just in behind. Champion Instinct can get a nice enough run. Riverviews led last all the way last time, so he's the one that could put some pressure on Super Winner. Master Hero, Lean Hero should both get nice runs. King of the Court's drawn wide. I think he's just going to need a little bit of luck, but I think he can get it from his wide draw. Yes, well, Super Winner was too strong for them at Sha Tin last Sunday. It did open the account for the new season of this man, Angus Chung.
Angus Chung, your season got off to a good start a week ago with a horse by the name of Super Winner. He's going back to the races again quite quickly, but last week that was a very impressive win.
Yeah, that was impressive for the old boy. He's looked like fresh up after the break, and yeah, we were leading in 3 wide position, but slow pace, and he found out pretty good and found a bit more in the track, so yeah, that was good.
He did indeed. You say he found plenty, didn't he, for pressure, and I mean he's gone away and actually won it quite impressively. His second up record, Angus, is probably equally as impressive as his first up, so I'm sure you'd be confident in another big run, won't you?
Yeah, we tried a good barrier, so we probably do the same thing. Get him in front, settle him, and this time up to 1400. I think it's suitable for him.
He loves that trip, doesn't he, 14? I mean, last week was probably a little bit of a shock to see him win over 12, but 14 really is his pet trip, isn't it?
Yeah, probably 12, a little bit too fast paced for him right now, getting older. But 14, I think he should be travel easier.
There is a bit of pace in the race. Obviously, your horse does love to roll forward, but that pace is drawn out wide. As you say, you're in 4, so certainly not a bad place to be.
I'm not quite sure what the pace they will make, but hopefully they are not giving not too much pressure, so I can let him breathe easier.
You and Dennis Yip teaming up again, 1 from 1 so far this season, so it'd be nice to keep that at 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, thanks for him. I appreciate him giving me support.
So Dennis Yip, the trainer there of Super Winner, backing him up and stepping him up to 1400 metres. On we roll to co-partner Ambition. Now, this horse hasn't won for a wee while, Paul. Co-partner Ambition. He comes into this after having blood in the trachea last time out, deemed unacceptable, but prior to that, he'd been just running on and running on and running on in every race.
He kept drawing wide, didn't he? He had all those wide draws in a row, finally drew well, and then he had all these issues. So, yeah, I don't really know about this one. But look, the trial, no pressure on him whatsoever. A lot of rain around, but he trialled really nicely, I thought. So, look, if he can, as long as that's not an ongoing issue internally, then hopefully with a better draw of 7, he can get his chance.
And that trial was behind Green and White, who I think is a fairly useful yardstick. King of the Court, we need reminding on his run?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a really nice trial here from him. You can see him on the inside. The horse really came back to Sha Tin, ran a couple of good thirds, I thought, last time. Just was poking up through on the inside there, ended up running third in this particular trial. It was quite a strong trial too. That's Imperial McGee there running second as well. He's a big chance in the first. So, look, I think he's a good opportunity as long as he can slot in from his wide draw.
Okay, so there he is down on the inside at King of the Court. Which way are we going here?
Going to go with him. I'm going to go with King of the Court. I think he's just about due a win here at Sha Tin. Look, Lean Hero is another one that's trialled quite well. The blinkers will go on him for the first time. Did win nicely 2 starts ago, and behind Yearboy won a really slowly run race. He did run on nicely enough there for 4th. Champion Instinct can put himself in the right place. And Owner's Praise is a horse that goes really well fresh, and he's drawn ideally in barrier 1. 9, 2, 11 and 1.
And that is race number 9. It comes up at 10 after 5 local time here in Hong Kong. It kickstarts the 5th and final double trio. And the curtain comes down with race number 10 at 5:45 from Sha Tin on Sunday. It is Class 3, 1,400 metres. Sunny Star charged home behind Hammer-On last time out. Hammer-On, of course, won at midweek. Superb Boy comes into this with barrier 2 for Hugh Bowman. Hyper Dragon Ball, Zach Purton, barrier 12. Further down, Beauty Fit. E-Legend's been consistent without winning. You're My Everything, I think it's a positive. He steps up to 1,400 metres. Lightning Bolt, more known for his all-weather form. Satanta was okay at the back end of last season. Captain Win, does he go forward? Does he go back? Not sure. Massive Action, Total Power and Royal Pride comes into this off a rating of 61 without a trial from barrier number 3. Massive Action will go forward to Paul, but what about Captain Win?
Well, look, he went forward in a recent trial, but he normally goes back in his races. Was quite a soft trial. Look, he can probably, I think he'll go back and maybe sneak a couple of places, but I think he'll be in sort of the back half of the field. Massive Action, we know he likes to lead. He'll go forward. Thought Superb Boy can get a perfect run. E-Legend as well. Neither of them will be far away. And then Satanta can get himself into a nice position as well.
Time to look at the replays for this final race on Sunday. And we'll start with Captain Win, who is just a one-time winner from his 23 starts. Pacifiers with the cows go on for the first time. The blinkers are off, but the jury's been out for a while for me. Yeah,
definitely. He might have won on debut, didn't he, just about? It was one of his first couple of starts. He was pushed out on this trial as well. He got to the front and he didn't really want to win it, did he? But he was pushed out and did win it nicely enough. Look, where is he going to be? I think they'll go back with him, but look, he's too hit and miss for me.
Didn't want to win it. It's a story of his career, basically. Captain Win. Derek Long rides from barrier number 4. Massive Action, a horse you've had some time for. If he got a soft lead, he could be tough to run down.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he won't be far away at all. We know he does like to go forward. Angus Chung's aboard, so he'll take all its weight off his back. He's won off a 66 rating before as well, and he's down to 63. Nice trial from him. I think he's one of the big chances in the race.
Yep, so he ran 4th last time out. Good trial down on the inside there in the all-weather, rather. And one more to look at here, of course, and this is Superb Boy with Hyper Dragon Ball, and he was able to win strongly over winner method last time out. Under a hold in his most recent barrier trial, he just looks like he gets the perfect run here.
He does, doesn't he? He's drawn ideally in barrier number 2, so he can either slot in behind or just sit behind the leader, who I think will be Massive Action. And you can see him really strides out nicely. They're well clear, these first 2 horses as well. And a nice race from him. He's won fresh in the past. I think he's got rating points in hand. He went up 6 points for that, so I think that was pretty fair.
It is the Get-Out Stakes. Can we fill up on Superb Boy in the last, do you think?
Yeah, I like him in this, so I am going to go with Superb Boy in the last. I think he can win this. E-Legend's a well-rated horse. He's no one's going to get a perfect run from barrier 1. Massive Action from the front. He could lead all the way, but thought he might just get swamped late. And Satanta can put himself into a nice position as well. And he did find a bit of form at the back end of last season. 2, 5, 10 and 8.
Paul's best comes up in the last to Superb Boy in race 10 at 5:45 from Sha Tin. Race 1 at Sha Tin set to jump at 1 p.m. Sunday.